For 10 long years, the city of Troy stood undefeated. But this war didn't begin with swords or fire. It began with desire. Paris, the prince of Troy, visited the Greek city of Sparta. There, he saw Helen, the most beautiful woman in the world, and chose to steal her away. Helen was the wife of King Menelaus of Sparta, and her abduction was an insult no Greek king could ignore. Menelaus called upon his brother, Agamemnon, the powerful ruler of Mycenae. Together, they summoned the greatest warriors Greece had ever known: Achilles, Odysseus, Ajax, and many more. 1,000 ships crossed the sea, carrying an army united by honor, pride, and revenge. Their destination was Troy. But Troy was not an ordinary city. Its walls were massive, towering stone fortifications said to have been built by the gods Apollo and Poseidon themselves. They were thick, high, and perfectly defended. No ladder could reach their tops. No ram could break their gates. When the Greek army arrived, they believed Troy would fall quickly. They were wrong. The Greeks attacked again and again. They stormed the plains outside the city. They challenged Trojan champions in single combat. The ground soaked with blood, but the walls of Troy never broke. The war dragged on, year after year. Heroes rose and fell. Hector, Troy's greatest defender, fought with unmatched courage. Achilles, the deadliest warrior among the Greeks, slaughtered enemies like a god of war. Their clash on the battlefield was legendary. But pride and rage consumed both sides. Achilles was eventually struck down, killed by an arrow guided to his only weakness. When he fell, the Greeks lost their greatest weapon. Hope began to fade. After 10 long years of fighting, thousands were dead. The land was ruined, and still Troy stood. The Greeks finally faced a terrible truth. They could defeat Trojan warriors. They could win battles on the open field. But they could not defeat the city of Troy. The walls had beaten them. No amount of strength, courage, or sacrifice could bring the city down. And so, at last, the Greeks abandoned force and turned to something far more dangerous: deception. Odysseus, the clever king of Ithaca, proposed a plan so bold, so deceptive, that if it failed, the war would end in humiliation. But if it succeeded, Troy would fall without another battle. The Greeks would pretend to surrender. They would build a massive wooden horse, so large it could be seen from Troy's walls. Inside its hollow body, they would hide their best soldiers. Then, the Greek army would burn their camp, board their ships, and sail away, leaving the horse behind as a supposed offering to the gods. When the Trojans awoke, they were stunned. The Greek camp was empty, the ships were gone, and standing before their gates was a gigantic wooden horse. A captured Greek told them the horse was a sacred gift, meant to ensure the Greeks' safe journey home, and that destroying it would anger the gods. Many Trojans celebrated. At last, the war was over. But not everyone believed the story. A Trojan priest named Glaucon stepped forward. He warned his people with words that would echo through history: beware of Greeks bearing gifts. He hurled a spear into the horse. It struck the wood and echoed hollow. The truth was right there, clear and loud. But pride, relief, and 10 years of war weariness had blinded Troy. The Trojans chose celebration over caution. They broke part of their own magnificent wall and dragged the horse into the city. That single moment sealed their fate. That night, Troy celebrated like never before. Wine flowed freely, fires burned brightly, songs filled the streets. Believing the war was finally finished, the entire city fell into a deep, exhausted sleep. Then, silence fell. From inside the horse, the hidden Greek soldiers waited until the city was utterly defenseless. Under the cover of darkness, they emerged, opened the city gates, and signaled the fleet. The Greek ships, which had only pretended to leave, returned silently. The enemy Troy believed had gone, was already inside. Fire consumed the city. Greek soldiers flooded the streets. Homes burned. Temples were desecrated. Troy fell not to siege engines or armies, but to its own mistake. After 10 years of heroic resistance, the city was destroyed in a single night. The city that force could not conquer was undone by deception. The siege of Troy teaches a lesson that still matters today. Walls can stop armies, weapons can win battles, but deception destroys from within. If you enjoyed this epic story, subscribe for more legendary history, like this video to support the channel, and comment below: would you have trusted the Trojan horse? Thanks for watching.